So hello and welcome to this yoga class. I'm so grateful that you could join me. To start, you might like to find a comfortable shape, perhaps sitting. You might like to choose to sit cross-legged, or you can sit with the legs tucked underneath like this. So just finding your position, maybe bringing the hands to the top of the thighs. You might like to roll the shoulders up, back and down a couple of times. And just starting to bring your attention into the present moment, into your body, beginning to land in your practice. Just knowing that this is your time to connect with you, to explore movement in your body, and that everything that I offer is a guide and a suggestion. Always listen to your body first and the wisdom of your own inner teacher and guru. If you want to spend this time just lying in child's pose or anything else, please feel free to go ahead and do that. So just taking a moment to orient to the present moment. One way that you might like to do that is to start to tune into your senses. And tuning into the sense of sight, might like to take a moment just to look around the space that you're in. Perhaps moving the head and the neck, looking with the eyes, just allowing the eyes to travel around the environment with a light and curious attention. When we do this, we move through the head and the neck, actually working with our ancient nervous system. So this is something that the animals do when they're in rest and digest mode, and our nervous systems are wired pretty much the same. We've got this ancient technology, works in a similar way. So you might see with animals, say on the African savannah, when they're eating their grass, they'll be eating, and then periodically they'll pop their heads up and they'll just look around. And so often when we've experienced trauma or a stress, our vision and our capacity to take in the expansiveness of our environment becomes restricted. We get tight around the eyes, we shift our focus in, and it limits our perception of our reality and of what's possible for us. So opening the eyes, allowing the eyes to receive the light and the environment, and you might just find perhaps an object or a color in the space as you're gazing around that is pleasant for you, and just allow your eyes to rest on that. And once you've found that, see if you can maybe consciously soften some of the muscles around the eyelids and the eyes, just tuning into that object or that color. It might even be a quality of light. And often also when we're in that stressed sort of doing mode, our eyes are tense and we're looking outward, looking to try and achieve something. I wonder if you could explore with just observing that beautiful or pleasant color or light, softening the eyes, like you could soften the peripheries out. And imagine that you could breathe in the quality of that object, that light, that color. So maybe consciously breathing in. And then exhale, letting go. You might do that a couple more times. Like you could receive the goodness from the environment. And then with the eyes opened or closed, whatever feels comfortable for you, just start to tune into the sense of hearing. And maybe you take your attention just with that light and curious approach outside of the space that you're in, maybe outside of the room or the building. Just scanning the environment for sounds. No need to interpret or label the sounds. Just allow your ears to receive those vibrations. Maybe the sounds of nature, perhaps sounds of traffic or voices. Whatever it is, just allow the qualities of those vibrations to be received by your ears, and you might stay with one sound for a moment and then just let it go and move on to the next sound. So just keeping your attention moving from sound to sound. Perhaps bringing your awareness closer, listening to sounds within the building that you're in. Maybe coming even closer still, perhaps listening for sounds within the room that you're in. Maybe also noticing the sound of silence, from which all these other sounds spring from and then return to. What is it like to tune into that background of silence, of spaciousness, listening to the silence too? And then maybe coming even closer, listening to the subtle sound of the breath. Feeling that now waveform of breath within your body, just the natural breath, exactly how it is, no need to change or modify it. Can you just notice the rise and fall of the breath, like you were noticing the rising and falling of the different sounds in the environment? Knowing that this breath, this beautiful life force, is always your anchor to the present moment in this practice throughout your life. Maybe inviting a bit more of a conscious breath in now. So you might like to bring one hand to your belly and just consciously breathe down into your belly. Feel that hand rise as your belly expands. And then feel the breath come up into the chest. And then exhale maybe through the mouth, letting it go, softening down. Let's do a couple more like that. So breathing into the belly, expanding up into the chest, maybe into the upper chest, almost getting a sense that you could breathe into the top of your head. And then exhale from the top of the head, maybe out through the mouth, all the way down the body. Let's do one more like that, breathing in. Belly, chest, up to the crown of the head, maybe pausing. And then exhale through the mouth, letting it go. And as you do, just bring your awareness all the way down to the base of your body and just start to feel into the solidity here. Those points of contact between your body and the earth. Maybe through the sit bones, the edges of the feet. And as you exhale, just imagine or feel yourself sinking a little bit more into the support of the earth, almost like you can grow roots down underneath you. Maybe inviting even 5% more of a softening into the support of the ground. knowing that you are held in every moment by this beautiful stability of the earth and the ground. And then perhaps bringing both hands over the heart, bringing your attention into your inner heart space here, into the center of you. You might feel the breath traveling in and out through your heart space. You might like to consciously work with your breath here, allowing it to be even on the inhale and the exhale. So perhaps inhaling for the count of 4 and exhaling for the count of 4 through the nose now. Maybe there's another count that works for you. It might be 3 and 3 or 5 and 5. Just feel the support here of your hands against your body as well, holding you. And if you're a visual person, you might see, intend, or imagine that there is a spark of light here in the center of your heart space. As you breathe in, imagine that you could breathe into the center of this light, almost like a candle flame. As you breathe into it, you might see it get a little bit brighter. And then as you exhale, just to tune into the spaciousness all around you, the peripheries, open space that's holding you. Inhale to the center of you, to this light. Exhale, extending your awareness in all directions, noticing the spaciousness of the present moment. And just asking yourself, what is it like to be me right now? And allowing whatever is here to be here too, knowing that all of you is welcome. You might tune into your physical body, different sensations, into your thoughts and your mental activity, into your emotions, and into your spirit. Just allowing all of this to be here. If there's sticky spots or discomfort, I invite you just to maybe mentally say this affirmation to yourself internally. This too. This too. There is space here too for this. And with that, just breathing in and exhaling through the mouth. Maybe rubbing the palms together, creating some friction and heat. Then I invite you just to bring the palms over the face, maybe massaging through the forehead, around the third eye, between the eyebrows, around the temples, the jaw, the neck, down the back of the neck and the shoulders. Maybe squeezing down the arms, down to the hands, down the thighs and the legs. So let's come over into a tabletop position, placing the hands directly under the shoulders and the knees under the hips. Just inviting in a little bit of an intuitive movement here. So you might like to circle through the hips. Take your fingers nice and wide on the mat and just maybe claw a little bit gently at the ground, feeling that nice surface space under the hands, tuning into the sensations also in the hands and maybe the toes and the feet, connecting to the ground. You might tuck the toes and maybe sit the hips back, and pushing out through the hands slightly and just feeling into the soles of the feet and the toes. Any little movements that feel nourishing and good, I invite you to explore. Perhaps stillness works well for you. And then curling up, exploring some cat and cow movements. So arching through the spine, tailbone reaches towards the roof, heart comes through the gateway of the arms and look up. And then curling from the tailbone up through the spine, pushing the mat away, bringing the chin into the chest as you exhale. See if you can explore this movement coming from the tailbone, arching from the bottom of the spine through the chest and up. And then starting from the tailbone, tucking the tailbone, curling through the spine, bringing the chin in towards the chest. Inhale, opening. You might even get a sense that you could pull the mat slightly back towards you with your hands as you arch up. And then as you exhale, moving from the tailbone, feeling that you can push the mat away, make some space between the back of the shoulder blades. Beautiful. And then taking the knees a little bit wider, bringing the toes together. Starting to sit back into an extended child's pose. One option here could be to bring the fingertips to the mat, making little tents with the hands, and you might explore a little bit of a side-to-side swaying movement here, just mobilizing a little bit through the shoulder blades. And then perhaps finding a place of stillness, maybe bringing the palms to the mat, forehead down to the earth. Feeling the belly expand into the space between the thighs, soft belly. Getting a sense that you could extend through the fingertips whilst the tailbone points towards the back, creating this beautiful length and space through the whole body. You might gently find a little bit of rocking from side to side on the forehead, just massaging the third eye point against the earth, bringing your vision to connect down to the earth underneath you maybe. What is stability? What does that mean to you? How do you connect to your sense of grounding? What does that look like for you in this moment, throughout your life? Then on the next inhale, just curling through the spine, coming up through tabletop and untucking the toes, and then bringing the chest down to the mat and the chin, and then sliding through down onto the belly. Untucking the toes here, bringing the legs together, taking those little tents with your hands, bringing the elbows up. We're moving into a couple of cobra rolls. So lifting up through the back part of your upper back, allow your chin to roll up last. Then exhale, roll forward, bringing the chin down to the mat. Inhale, lifting up through the back. Allow the chin to come up last, and then exhale, rolling down, bringing the chin down last. Inhale, lifting up. Exhale, rolling down. Let's inhale, lift up. Maybe exhale, drop one shoulder and one ear in towards the center, and then inhale, lifting up. Exhale, rolling back down through center. Inhale, rolling up. Exhale, perhaps dropping the other shoulder and other ear in towards the center, lifting back up. And exhale, rolling back down. That's great. Bringing hands underneath the shoulders. Inhale through tabletop, and exhale just to sit back into your child's pose again. Nice deep breath in and out. Option maybe to bend through the elbows, bring the palms together. You might like to bring the fingertips to the base of the neck or the hands to the back of the head in prayer. Finding your breath. Maybe some little movements here just to feel into the shoulder blades. Notice how changing the shape of the arms changes your experience. Maybe new experiences of sensations, qualities arising and passing away. Breathing into any areas that are asking for extra attention or spaciousness. Bringing the hands back to the mat, starting to sit up back onto the heels. Just bring the hands down to the mat for a second. And we're going to tuck our toes and sit back onto the heels here. So this is a bit of a activating shape for the feet. You might roll through the shoulders here, maybe roll through the neck. You might like to draw big circles with the neck and the head, maybe in one direction and then in the other. Breathing into your belly, noticing if you can explore perhaps with softening through the muscles of the face and the jaw. And then coming back to center, and let's just do 3 nice deep breaths here, breathing into the belly. Maybe exhaling through the mouth. Breathing in. Exhale, letting it go. One more, breathing in. Exhale, release. Bringing the hands to the mat, maybe tapping out the toes. Ooh. And then coming to sit back on the heels. Going to inhale, come up onto our knees, reach the arms up. And then exhale, cactus the arms, opening through the chest. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, bringing the hands through prayer as you sit your heels back down and curl slightly through the spine. Let's do that again. Inhale, reaching up. Exhale, cactusing the arms, opening through the chest. Inhale, reaching up, tucking the tailbone, lengthening through the spine, and then exhale, sitting the hips down, maybe curling through the spine as you bring the hands through prayer. Let's go again. Inhale. Exhale, cactusing, open through the chest. Inhale, reach up. Straighten through the spine and then curl slightly as you bring the hands through prayer to the center. And then you might like to bring your left hand to the mat. Inhale, sweep up with the right arm as you lift the hips up. Maybe reach back. Then exhale, sit the hips down. We're going to sweep the hands in a semicircle across the front of the mat and then switching sides, bringing the right hand down, sweeping the left arm up and back. If this is too much for your back, you can come up onto the knees, place that left hand to the back left pocket, reach up and back, then sit down and come in a semicircle in front. Finding your flow and your pace. Either options, maybe there's a spot that you might like to stay. You might like to flow with the breath. So inhale to open and arch. Exhale, sitting down, sweeping in front. Let's do one more to the right. Then bringing the hands down to the mat, spreading the fingers nice and wide, tucking the toes, lifting up into a downward facing dog. You might like to walk the heels out here a couple of times. Maybe looking under one of the arms, under the left armpit as you straighten the left leg and bend the right knee. And then to the other side, looking under the right armpit, straightening that right leg, bending the left knee. Then maybe finding a place of stillness here, extending out through the hands, breathing in, exhaling, letting it go. You might imagine, intend, or feel that you can breathe in from the heels up to the tailbone. And then exhale, allow the wave of breath to travel from the tailbone all the way down through into the hands, into the earth. Inhaling up from the heels to the tailbone. Exhaling from the tailbone down the arms to the hands. And then let's inhale, roll forward, coming over the toes into a high plank position. Activate the muscles of the legs. Really push the ground away here. Feel the heels activating back. Let's breathe in. And then exhale, dropping the knees down, lowering the chest down between the hands, coming all the way onto the belly. Keep the hands down by the lower ribs, untuck the toes. And we'll do 3 cobras here, really focusing on the muscles of the back. So you want only 5 to 10% weight in the hands here. Let's inhale, lift up. Maybe explore taking the hands off just for a second. And then exhale, lowering down. Inhale, lifting. Exhale, lowering down. One more, inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. And inhale through tabletop, sitting all the way back down into your child's pose and pausing here for a moment, breathing in and out. Finding your stillness and center, finding that beautiful waveform of your breath. And let's inhale. Curl back up, sitting onto the heels. We're going to come up onto the knees and take a big step forward with the right foot coming into a low lunge position. Just explore here for a little bit with sitting down into that front right heel and extending through the front of the back left thigh. And then coming back to a more neutral position and then sitting back down again. You might rest your hands on your thigh here. You can bring the fingertips to the mat. Keeping the spine nice and long. And then bringing the left hand down to the mat. Let's extend the right arm up, coming into a low lunge twist. And extend up through those fingertips. Feel into the spaciousness around you. Feel the lightness through the hands and the grounding down through the legs, or the right hand. And then let's inhale, reach back, and then exhale, sweep that hand forward over to the left upper corner of the mat. And inhale, sweep back. Exhale, reach over to the opposite corner. Nice. Inhale back. Exhale, sweep forward. Great. And then inhale, come back to your twist. And then start to swivel on that back leg so that the left foot points towards the long end, and come up into like a mini warrior two, a low warrior two shape. Great. Feel into the stability of the feet here. You might like to tune into the lightness in the arms, the grounding down through the legs. Feel the crown of the head extending up, and then maybe look over the middle finger on the right hand. Find your breath in your belly. And then let's bring the left hand down to the mat, sweep the right arm up and over as we straighten the right leg. And then exhale, sit into that right knee, bring the right elbow to the knee. And then sweep back. So moving between these two shapes, sitting into this squat shape, and then inhale, reaching up and over with the right hand extending through that right side body. I'll do one more here. And then sitting down, bringing the left heel in underneath your hip so you can sit down onto that heel, and then bring your hands into prayer here. Take a moment to pause and breathe into your hips. Feel the spine extending up nice and long. Tune into your heart space. Feel the breath. Maybe you notice or tune into that candle flame. Breathing into that light in the center of you, and exhale, noticing the space all around. And then starting to sit down behind that left leg, extend the right leg out along the mat. Beautiful. Let's do a little bit of a flow here. So exhale to reach down towards that right foot with the left hand. And then sweep the left hand behind you, behind the left hip. We're going to lift the hips up and maybe reach back with our right hand. And then swinging, I was going to say swinging over, reaching for that right leg with the left hands, coming into a forward fold. Semicircling through the arms, lifting the hips, maybe opening all the way back. Beautiful. Let's do one more like that. And then sitting the hips down, starting to come down over that right leg and towards your version of a forward fold. That might be up here. You might have blocks or a prop here. You can place a bolster or a pillow between the stomach and the top of the right thigh. See if you can create or explore with softness through the hands, like you're coming to a resting shape here rather than having to reach and get to your toes. Allow maybe the chin to come towards the chest and just soften here. Perhaps inviting in some deep ujjayi breathing in and out through the nose, just constricting lightly the back of the throat.
Make that calming sound like the ocean at a distance. And we're going to be here for a little while, softening down into the ground. Just a couple more breaths. And bringing your hands down to the mat, slowly lifting yourself up. Maybe taking a moment just to acclimatize with that spine nice and straight. You might like to close the eyes for a second. Just tune in. Notice what sensations are alive in your body. Great. And then bringing that right leg in, coming over the legs back into a downward dog position. Maybe walking the heels out a couple of times. Let's do 3 deep breaths here, breathing in from the heels to the tailbone. Maybe exhaling through the mouth from the tailbone, up the spine, into the hands and the ground. Let's do that again, breathing in. Exhale down into the ground. One more time. Exhale, release. And inhale, roll over the toes, coming into a high plank position. Feel your hands gripping the mat, pushing the mat away. Nice and active through the muscles of the legs. You may rock a little bit back and forward on your toes. I like to do this just to feel through the feet and the muscles of the legs. Let's stay here for one more breath. And then exhale, bringing the knees down, untucking the toes, coming all the way down onto the belly. Let's do 3 of our cobras here. Hands by the lower ribs. Inhale, lifting up. Exhale down. Inhale up. Exhale down. One more. Inhale, lifting. Exhale, lowering. Inhale through tabletop. Exhale to sit back into your child's pose and just pause. You might like to bring the hands to the base of the neck, again in prayer, bending through the elbows. Might like to reach the arms along the mat, or you could bring the arms down by the outer parts of the legs with the palms facing up and rest through the shoulders in this way. Any option, feel free to explore. Bowing to the earth again, finding that stability. What's something that you could let go of in this moment? Softening. And then let's inhale, sit back onto the heels, come up onto the knees and take a nice big step forward with the left leg. And again, you might like to bring the hands to the top of the thigh or the knee and just explore on this side what it's like maybe to sink a little bit into the support of that leg and foot, opening up through the front of the right thigh and maybe coming back into a more 90 degree with the legs. You might just do that a couple of times, sort of feeling into this side, noticing the different areas of tension or relaxation. You might bring the hands to the mat and explore it a little bit like this too. Might wiggle the hips a little bit. Beautiful. And bringing the right hand down to the mat, lifting the left arm up, coming into a low lunge twist. Feel the space expand from your left fingertips into the sky, down through the chest, opening your heart space up to new opportunities, to the spaciousness around you. And then we're going to reach back behind us as we inhale, and exhale over to the right upper corner of the mat. Inhale, reaching back behind you. Exhale, right upper corner of the mat. One more time. Exhale. Beautiful. Then let's pivot on that right leg. Bring it around. I'm going to face backwards to you, to the long edge of the mat. And come up into your low warrior two shape on the left-hand side. Just feeling into this shape, maybe wiggling through the hips a little bit and tuning into the stability in the legs and the feet. Feel this expansive openness through the shoulders and the chest down to the fingertips. And maybe looking over the middle finger. Just notice here if your shoulders are coming up towards your chin. See if you can roll them up, back and down so that there's this nice sense that the shoulders are moving down the back. And then we'll place the right hand down to the outside of the right leg. Straighten the left leg. Sweep the left arm up and over. And then sit down, bring the left elbow to the left thigh. And then we'll sweep back, inhale up and over with the left arm. Exhale, sitting down. Inhale up. Exhale down. Inhale up. And then sit. I'm going to switch around so you can see me. Sit to the right heel down under the right sit bone. The left leg is still out to the side. And the sole of the foot on the ground, and bring the palms together. Feel an elongation through the whole spine from the tailbone to the crown of the head. Bring your attention inwards into that flame of your heart space. Breathing in to this light on the inhale. Exhale, noticing, bringing your attention into the infinite space all around you. Inhale, connecting to your inner light, feeling it get brighter with your breath. And then exhale to the space all around you. And then when you're ready, you can start to sit down behind that right foot and extend the left leg out in front. I'm just going to adjust that because it was going to turn off. Extend the left leg out. Feel into this side. And then bring the right hand down behind the outer right hip. We're going to inhale, lift the hips up, sweep up and back. Exhale, sitting the hips down, sweeping the arms in a semicircle, reaching over to the left leg with the right hand. And sweeping all the way back, right hand behind the right hip, lifting the hips up, maybe reaching back, opening through the whole front of the body. Then exhale, sitting the hips down, sweeping in a semicircle, reaching towards the left toes with the right hand. Let's do that one more time. Inhale, lifting up, big opening through the whole front of the body. Exhale, sitting the hips down, reaching over towards left leg with the right hand. My left's and right.
And then you might inhale here and just extend up through the spine. Then exhale, start to come forward over that left leg. Maybe bringing the support underneath your belly if you had a cushion there on the other side. Just finding your comfortable edge on this side. It might be different to the other side. And then finding a bit of softness here, just allowing your body to fall where it wants to in this shape. Rather than feeling like you need to reach and achieve anything here, just softening, maybe bringing the chin in towards the chest. Nice deep breaths with that Ujjayi breathing. This is somewhere that you can soften consciously with the breath, maybe around the eyelids, the jaw. Just a couple more breaths here. Know where to get to. Dropping into feeling and being rather than thinking and doing. And then when you're ready, you can slowly begin to lift your way back up. Just pause for a moment, extending through the spine. Might want to roll through the shoulders or the neck. Let's take a moment in stillness here just to integrate, feel into the effects of that pose. And then when you're ready, you can bring your hands around, come back in your own way to a downward facing dog, maybe walking the heels out. Let's do 3 nice deep breaths here. Inhaling, heels to tailbone. Exhaling, tailbone all the way up to the hands. Almost imagine that you could breathe in new energy from the earth up from the feet to the tailbone, and exhale, sending any old energy to the earth down from the tailbone to the hands to be recycled and renewed. Breathing in, exhale through the mouth, letting it go. And let's roll over the toes, coming into a high plank. Activating through the muscles of the legs. You might like to shift a little bit on the toes like me, or maybe stillness is good for you here. Let's take a nice deep breath in. And then exhale, bring the knees down, untuck the toes, bring the belly all the way down to the mat. 3 last cobras here. Inhale, lifting up. Exhale, rolling down. Inhale to lift. Exhale to lower. One more. Inhale, lifting. Exhale, lowering. Inhaling through tabletop into your child's pose and pausing. Breathing into the belly, into the lower back. One last shape here. We're going to come up onto the knees. Allow the knees to be directly under the hips. Reach the hands forward along the mat, coming into puppy pose. So the hips are up. We're bringing the front of the heart down towards the mat. You may rest your chin on the mat. You might like to rest your forehead, maybe making those little tents with the fingers.
Any little movements that feel good. Sometimes I like to wiggle my shoulders from side to side here, just exploring through the shoulder blades. Maybe bringing the palms down. Feel that you could extend from the tailbone back and bring the chest down towards the mat. Let's do 2 more nice deep breaths here, breathing in. Exhale, letting it go. Inhale. Exhale. Walking the hands in, coming up through your tabletop. Walking the knees up and then crossing the ankles behind you. Let's come to roll all the way down onto the back. You might like to bring the knees into the chest, maybe rock from side to side, massaging the lower back here. You might like to circle through the knees in one direction and the other, or in opposite directions. Let's take an easy twist. So arms can come out at shoulder height, maybe with the palms facing down, or you can cactus the arms here and drop both the knees over towards the left, maybe looking over towards the right. If there's another form of a twist that you feel like your body needs, please feel free to go there. And then inhale through center and exhale over to the other side. Maybe looking over towards the left. Inhaling through center. Maybe taking the hands to the back of the thighs or the outer edges of the shins or the ankles or the feet, and finding your happy baby. You might like to rock from side to side and maybe extend one leg and then the other. And then beginning to find your way down into a resting shape to complete your practice. That might be Shavasana, or maybe there's a different pose that you might like to take that's more suitable. Just over the next 2 to 3 breaths, finding that shape in your body, any little adjustments you need to make. Maybe you like to grab a blanket, an eye pillow, maybe a bolster or a support behind the backs of the knees. And finding your place of stillness. Let's take one conscious deep breath in, exhaling through the mouth, just allowing the whole practice to dissolve into stillness and silence now. Release the control of the breath. Now you're welcome to continue to stay here and rest as long as you need. If you'd like to finish the practice with me, I invite you to start to introduce a bit more of a conscious breath into your body, breathing into your belly, up into your chest. Maybe exhaling from the chest down. Let's do another couple of breaths like this time breathing in from the tips of the toes to the crown of the head. Exhale from the crown of the head all the way out the tips of the toes. One more time, breathing in. Exhale, letting it go. As you do, you might like to introduce some little wiggles and movements through the fingers, the wrists, the toes, maybe extending the arms overhead, stretching nice and long from fingertips to toes, creating length and space in your body. And then when you're ready, you can roll over to your favorite side and just pause. Resting here. Moving from corpse pose, Shavasana, which is like the death of the practice, into the rebirth now as a seed, as you re-enter your day. What is it that you want to take with you from this practice? What seeds do you want to plant? And when you're ready, slowly and gently lifting your way up towards the seat, keeping the eyes downcast or closed. May roll through the head, neck a little bit. Bring your hands maybe to your heart and your belly or somewhere else on your body that feels supportive. And again, connecting to that light in the center of your heart space. Seeing, imagining, or intending for it to be there, to connect with that eternal light within you. Breathing into that space, and as you exhale, just noticing the expansiveness of the space all around you, of consciousness in all directions. That spark of divinity within your heart gets brighter as you breathe into it, and as you exhale, just opening, softening into the spaciousness of this moment. And then bringing your hands to prayer in front of your heart, maybe bringing to mind a person, place, situation that you'd like to dedicate your practice to. This could be you. It might be a past version of you, a future version of you as well. It might be someone in your family. It may be a particular cause. It might be somewhere on the planet. Whatever feels right for you, bring that to mind. Feel this beautiful energy and light within your heart that you've cultivated from the practice. Let's breathe that in. And then bringing the palms to face the ceiling with the little fingers connected. Let's exhale and blow the fruits of this practice out to where you want to dedicate them to. And thank you so much for joining me. Namaste. The light in me recognizes and honors the light in you. I hope you have a beautiful rest of your day or evening.